this game, you guys were down by double digits early in the second quarter, and things started to change those last 3 minutes, and then it looked like the second half just something sparked. What was the difference? What did you tell the guys even at halftime?
Yeah, I think we were pretty calm and collected at halftime. We took a punch from them on the road. We didn't flinch, which was good. Being able to reel it in a little bit in a respectable way before half, momentum plays, which were great. Ed's finish at the rim to send us into halftime just made us feel good about ourselves. Then we just talked about a few adjustments we had to make in the second half, and that third quarter was pretty impressive on both ends of the floor.
When you look at, go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead.
No, go, you got it.
You've talked a lot about how your defense is going to have to spark your offense. Get in transition, get early action, and so forth. Was this third quarter, and to a lesser extent even the last couple of minutes of the first half, a perfect example of that?
Without a doubt, Brian. It was a prime example of just who we have to be. So we keep telling on ourselves a little bit of the ability that we have to do it. It's just been the consistent approach of doing it quarter after quarter. So this is without a doubt our capabilities to be able to turn defense into offense. And you got a chance to see us get out in transition, make threes, which was impressive. And so we have enough shooting to space the floor. The determination to get the 50-50 balls, to come back and rebound the basketball tonight was impressive from a lot of guys. So it can be done.
You mentioned about how this group was calm at halftime with so much going into this game about playoff implications. What just impressed you the most about how your group was able to stay resilient and resolved?
I think I always look at the huddles and the communication in the huddles and what that looks like. Like the talk in the huddles, and we talked about it before the game, is let's have our huddles even tighter tonight and stay together even more tonight because we're on the road. So it was a prime example of guys pulling for each other, whether it was pulling for Doe to hit some threes to get some offensive rebounds, whether it was the matchup of Bam and Nick, and then us coming back to rebound. So to have the board effort that we did tonight from a lot of guys, impressive, because that just helps us balance out shot discrepancy. But this group was extremely poised. I mean, you talk about what you learned from previous games. We were more poised tonight, and we took a punch, like I said, and we responded.
Jacque, you guys were, down like 14. Yeah. Can you talk about just the end of, you talked about the third period, which was unbelievable, but the end of the second quarter, you hit some threes, and then, does that just build the confidence right there when you can do that?
It does. At the end of the day, these dudes are human, and they want to see the ball go through the hoop for their teammates and for themselves, and sometimes that gives you a little shot of energy. Just look at the sequence of Doe and how that provided just an extreme spark for the group. Then we just, defended our tails off on the other end, which was fun to see. When we're flying around, covering for each other, Nick's at the rim, scrambling for rebounds, and we're often running in transition. That's when it looks fun, and it is fun for our guys.
It was good to see Cam Johnson get going. He's got things going early there in the first quarter. He had that stop, knocked down 2 3-pointers. For him to find his flow, how good is it to see him find that rhythm with this group?
It just makes us more lethal because, they're already focused on Nick rolling to the rim. They're already focused on, what is Mikal and Spencer going to do on each possession. And we were able to capitalize and get CJ open. He was knocking down shots for us. I think he felt good about himself tonight. And just another weapon for us where then the next thing you know, Joe's coming in and shooting the basketball. So if we can continue to cover for each other and provide some shooting at all facets of the game and all times of the game, we'll be in good shape.
Coach, you guys are one win away from Miami in the race to get out of the play-in tournament. Is this something you guys had in mind before the game, and how big is this win for you guys as you look to get out of the play-in tournament and secure a spot in the playoffs?
Really, we were just dying for a win. We wanted our guys to feel good about themselves. It was an emotional loss for us versus Cleveland, and I think this win even speaks more volumes because of that. We talked about emotionally and physically being able to respond and reload and do it again. And for us to do it on the road, I didn't mention anything about the standings. For us, it was today's game, which was the most important game. Now we got to do it again tomorrow night.
This is
as close to a must-win game? Just, I know you're saying you're not harping on the standings.
I
but
beat you to it.
Yeah, but based on the standings, as close to a must-win game as you guys have had, and Cam has struggled, pretty significantly over his last 10 or so games heading in. Just does it say something about him as a player to you for him to have that kind of performance, 9 of 13, 5 of 8 from 3 in this type of spot and break out in this game?
I think, I don't always look at the points. It's the other things. And so maybe the ball hasn't been going in, but he was leading our team in charges. So those things are important for me. Then he's sprinting back in transition and helping us rebound. Those things are important. So I think that's why it's tougher for me to, lose faith in the guy. I look at more than just the scoring. What are you as a teammate? How are you in the huddles? Always locked into the scouting report. First one, eye contact, ready to ask a question. Those things, when you do those things, your shooting is going to come back around because you're too good of a shooter.
With Edmond Sumner, he came out of the game those last couple of minutes. Everything okay with the right hip?
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. He couldn't finish the game for us and gave us a great spark tonight. So hopefully that hip responds, but we'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
Staying on Edmond, he hasn't been in the rotation, obviously. Yeah. What led to that? Obviously, Seth's out, but what led that to that decision to maybe go with him over Cam? And did he do enough to be in the rotation moving forward?
Yeah, I talked to the group about using everybody, and they've heard my message long enough. And the great thing is, Ed and I talked a few days ago before we knew Seth wasn't even going to not be traveling on this trip. And so that communication, that he was staying ready as a teammate, he was focused, one of the most focused dudes we had, cheering our guys on the bench. And I really believe when you get good aura and karma about yourself and you carry yourself in a professional way, things come around. And tonight he had some meaningful minutes for us that we needed, and he produced.
You mentioned Seth Curry not traveling on this trip. Does that mean that he will not be available for tomorrow?
Seth will not be with us tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.